From the Hampton Coliseum, WHCS Channel 5 presents Peninsula District Girls Basketball. The Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to the Hampton Coliseum for this battle between the Hampton Crabbers, tied for 5th place in the Peninsula District, and the Bethel Bruins in 8th place with a 5-12 and 6-12 record. If we could talk for a minute, Bob, before we get started, our director, if we can let him know we haven't got any sound either.
Right, we haven't got any feedback, but this is going to be an interesting game. Anytime you get the Bethel girls and the Hampton girls playing each other, even though one's in 5th and one is 8th, it's not going to make any difference. Jessie Pope has had some problems with some girls from getting sick and what have her, but it's real interesting in that she's doing a real good job. She's been over to Bethel 20-some years. She's just done an excellent job. David Six at his first year at Hampton has done a great job. So see, we're getting the lineups.
There we go. We got our sound back anyway.
Now I can hear myself. Thought I was going deaf there for a minute. But anyway, if we get a chance, we run down the lineups for the
Why don't you go ahead and do that, Bob?
Hampton girls out there on the floor. Number 30, Juanetta Venny. Number 32 is Kimberly Fleming. Number 34, Stephanie Hicks. Number 44, Shonda Bailey. And number 50, Tori Howard is starting instead of T.T. Gupton. For the Bruins, number 22, Tamara Poole. Number 30, Arnell Solar. Number 32, Celeste Palmer. 34 is Talisha McCauley. And 42 is Shakita Alford, who was hurt the last time we got a game, and you'll notice she's got a big brace on her leg, Tim. She bruised her knee real bad in the game prior to the one that we did over at Bethel with the Kickitan girls. So we'll see how much mobility she has out there.
Now the Bethel Bruins have clinched a final spot. There is a battle. They can advance and tie Lafayette for 7th, as Lafayette is 6-11, Bethel is 5-12. So this game is important to Bethel because they could avoid that first-round matchup with Phoebus.
Well, and that is a good point.
And the other side of this coin is that Hampton has a lot to gain by this too, because they're in a 5th-way tie with Denby, 5th-place tie, with Denby. So they could also improve themselves. As you, the fans may or may not know, as you are ranked according to your ranking, if you're the 1st-place team, you play the least formidable, if you will, on paper,
or least
opponent.
Productive team,
right,
during the season.
1st place 8th, 2nd place 7th, 3rd place 6th, and so forth. So this becomes a very important point down the road for these teams.
Well, you notice Bethel started off in a man-to-man, which they will play a lot. They are very aggressive in their man-to-man. Hampton on the other side turned out and is out into a zone, and we have our first tie-up of the ball game, and the ball goes to the Crabbers.
That was Horace Underwood, the referee for this game, who is one official, and the other official is Larry Hagan, who will be the umpire for this match. Larry, we got a chance to see Larry at Bethel High School a while back. He had the unenviable task of doing back-to-back games.
Yeah, and he said, and I asked him if he's going to try for 4 tonight. He says, no way. But the ball goes over to the Bruins. They had the possession arrow on that jump ball and was almost a mix-up, and the scorekeeper caught that. So the Bruins still have the ball.
Ball knocked loose and then lost off the foot of one of the Bethel Bruins, out of bounds. It'll belong to the Hampton Crabbers.
Well, one thing the Bruins are trying to do, Tim, is trying to dribble into a zone, and that's tough. You got to pass the ball against the zone. And the Bruins are now in their zone, but they're playing man-to-man on Venny, who is their point guard, who handles all the chores of bringing the ball up the court and all that.
3 opportunities on the offensive boards for the Crabbers, but they come up with nothing as we're still scoreless here in the first 8-minute stanza. 4 8-minute quarters in high school basketball. There is no shot clock. The only time factor is you do have the 10-second line. Still a scoreless battle. Finally put up, no good. And finally controlled underneath by the Crabbers, but then the ball is stolen. And the ball is finally kicked out and controlled by Talisha McCauley of the Bethel Bruins.
Well, you see how scrappy both of these teams are. They're not giving away anything. And while we have a chance, I do want to mention the coach, David Six, is the coach for the Hampton Crabbers. And he is assisted by, and I don't even see you over on the bench now. Oh, that's right, because there's a JV contest, so he's by himself tonight. At the other end, you have Jessie Pope, who has Kirby Ely helping her on the bench, so that's a plus for her.
And we do have some improvement here. We got some picture now.
Oh wow!
And we're working at it.
We got a technician with a coat and a tie on here, which is most enviable.
From the foul line, the shot is faked. Then in heavy traffic, the try. Finally, the Lady Bruins are able to score as Chiquita Alford gets Bethel on the scoreboard. And they lead with 5:23 left here in the first period by the score of 2-0. Crabbers are the home team for this contest. This is going to be a little unusual for the girls, as we'll see throughout this game. They're going to be playing on a much bigger court here at the Hampton Coliseum. And we see Kimberly Fleming step in the way of the oncoming Bruin and commit the foul.
And that's number 22 for the Bruins, Tim. That's
Tamara, I believe.
Tamara Poole, who has moved into a starting position for the Bruins, and she's only a sophomore. And so that means Jesse's going to have her for 2 more years. It's good to be able to get these young ladies and get some playing time. While we have our first break, let me mention we will be giving a player of the game plaque and shirts, the DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game. The plaque comes from DC Engraving, located at Tab Square in York County. Dave Buckwalder is a young man out there. The t-shirt comes from the Sports Place, located at Hampton Woods Plaza, right on Big Bethel Road, and Dave Chubb is a young man there, and we appreciate all their efforts of helping us pick one of these players from each one of these games, Tim, as a player of the game, strictly on a non-scientific basis.
You and I debated, and then ultimately...
Well, hey, the last 2 games we agreed.
I know, that was phenomenal in its own way. So the Lady Bruins will be coming back on the court with a 2-0 lead with 5:05 left in the first period. This game, the first of 4 here at the Coliseum today, and all 4 games can be viewed here on Channel 5. A little too strong on the shot. Tori Howard has the rebound for the Lady Crabbers. This is Wynetta Vini giving to Kimberly Fleming, then back to Tori Howard. Vini will fire it up just inside the 3-point line. It's rebounded by Shanda Bailey. Her shot's short. Underneath in the heavy traffic, Stephanie Hicks has got it, and it's finally controlled by the Lady Bruins. 3 chances for the Crabbers. They have yet to dent the scoreboard.
And it's not for lack of trying. They just can't. The depth perception is bound to be off a little bit, Tim, because of the bigness of the court and how far away the end lines are. You're not used to that in high school. You've got the end of the gym right there, and I'm sure it's going to affect their shooting, because I don't think that these girls got a chance to come over here and practice on this court. I know Coach Bailey for the Bethel Bruins wanted to, and whether he got over here or not, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk with him.
Inside, turnaround jumper is no good. The rebound is loose and finally controlled by the Bruins. Bruins in the green, gold, and yellow numerals. Hampton, of course, in the familiar red and white with black trim. Just inside the 3-point line, shot a little too short. Nice move by the Bruins, but again, those shots coming up a little short.
And again, it's because, I'm sure, Tim, it's because of the bigness of this court. Nice pass by Venny that time.
Vini got it to Bailey. Bailey on the second try is able to finally put it in. Shanda Bailey ties the game at 2. And both of us call that young lady Venny, but it's in fact Vini.
Vini, and I apologize to her. I know the young lady, and I speak to her when I see her, and I apologize for that.
She'll probably beat you up.
Well, I hope not. That's why I'm apologizing.
Moving to the hoop. Shot no good and controlled by Fleming of Hampton. In heavy traffic, she'll push it up the court. Good lead pass for Shanda Bailey, and Bailey can't get the layup. And last touched out of bounds by, I believe, the Crabbers. It'll be Bruin ball. A couple of substitutions for each team. Coming in for the Bruins is number 35, Lisa Goodhope.
And I believe that's number 10 for the Crabbers, Tim. That's T.T. Gupton coming in.
She, I understand, was not feeling well, but apparently is going to give it a go.
Well, the Crabbers have come out into a full court zone press, and Bethel immediately turned the ball over.
Hicks's shot, Vini's shot rather, is a little short, and back come the Bruins. We're tied at 2 with 2:29 to go in the first. Stolen underneath by Stephanie Hicks. Gupton, and Gupton foul is going to be called. It'll be which way?
McCauley.
It'll be defense, okay? So McCauley will be called. It could have possibly been called a push-off, but Larry Hagan saw it as a defensive foul, a blocking foul. It'll be a player control foul. Gupton to Fleming. Meany, nice feed underneath for Hicks, and Hicks banks it in. So Stephanie Hicks, who averages better than 14 points a game, gets her first 2 and gives a Hampton 2-point lead. And we've got a foul before the pass. They say Kimberly Fleming reached in and committed the foul.
And she's saying, who, me? You can see her standing there in the middle of your screen, number 32. She wasn't too thrilled. She thought she got all ball. But this will give the Bruins the ball out of bounds underneath their own basket.
This is Poole triggering it inbounds. Talisha McCauley guarded by T.T. Gupton. McCauley has trouble, loses the dribble, and gets it back. Strong move to the hoop, in and out. Ball knocked out of bounds, last touched by the Lady Bruins. That would be Alford who last touched it. A minute 38 to go. Hampton with a 2-point lead, 4-2. Very low scoring first quarter for these girls. They're trying to get acclimated to this very spacious Hampton Coliseum. Lead pass down the court is a little too long, and it's retrieved by Gupton. And the turnover.
Good defense.
Meany said, I was fouled, Mr. Ref. None was called. Off the glass, no good. Vini with the rebound. And a reach-in foul will be charged to Christine Rose.
Well, this caller almost a body block.
Well, I was trying to be kind.
I see that.
There you see David Six giving instructions on the far sideline to Vini. Very successful year for David Six in his first season at the helm of the Lady Crabbers. 8-9 in the district, 10-9 overall.
And get to the district tournament. That's first time in a long time that the Lady Crabbers have made it to the Peninsula District.
Vini has it rejected, gets it back, and puts it up and draws the foul. I believe Rose will be called for her second.
And that's 2 real quick fouls. 53 seconds remaining in the first period. It's been a relatively low scoring game, but again, Tim, it's got to be the size of the court and the depth perception of these young ladies when they shoot. It's an altogether different feeling when you get out on this bigger court and play basketball, and you have all kinds of space between the back of the backboard, and it's a little different. They'll score a little more points later on in the game.
Celeste Palmer comes in for the Lady Bruins along with Melissa Maxey, as Vini misses the first of 2 free throws. Maxey was injured several games ago, and at the time of her departure from the lineup was one of the leading scorers for the Lady Bruins. In fact, had enjoyed a 20-point game against Gloucester, but then she has only been back for 1 game in the last 6, and that certainly has hurt Jesse Pope's team in their standings. Good look down the court for Shanda Bailey. She gets free, and she'll go in for the layup. Can't get it to drop, however. Stephanie Hicks had it and lost it. Boy, is she a competitor. She's always hustling up and down the court.
I'll tell you, as a coach, you can really appreciate that kind of hustle.
Talisha McCauley on a 1-on-3 situation finally finds the open shooter, and it doesn't go, and a foul will be committed by number 41, LaShonda Solomon of Bethel. That'll be her first. Comes with 20 seconds remaining, a 5-2 game in favor of the Lady Crabbers. You're watching the Hampton Crabbers girls team versus the Bethel Bruins girls team from the Hampton Coliseum. This game videotaped on the 16th of February, 1993. First of the Super Tuesday matchups. 4 high school games at the Coliseum on the same day. Shot put up, and a foul is called. This one will also go against LaShonda Solomon. That'll be her second. Stephanie Hicks will go to the free throw line. She has 2 points, and she'll get 2 shots.
I tell you, Tim, to be able to spend $4 and then $2 for parking, $6, and see 4 contests, it's you can't do better than that for the price of admission here at the Coliseum. We have 4 games, and they're all the Hampton high schools playing, and it's really quite a thing. They're calling it Super Tuesday, February the 16th.
Second attempt by Hicks is off the mark, and then we've got a whistle underneath. They say it was last touched by the Lady Bruins, so the Crabbers will get another chance here. 1 of 2 for Hicks, but they'll get the ball. With 3 seconds remaining, Bailey back to Vini, and Vini traveled before the buzzer sounded to end the first period. And after 8 minutes, it is the Lady Crabbers with 6 straight points. They fell behind 2-0 and lead with those 6 straight points, 6-2 after the first 8-minute period.
Well, we want to thanks our crew setting up. I'll tell you, they were working to get this thing set up real quick. We have Ron Bell on one of the cameras and Mr. Hooker on the other camera for this first game. And of course, we got Jerome Young is in doing the graphics. Dr. Sam is doing everything and he come out here and help us get our picture back. Scotty, of course, is in the truck giving us great feeds from our 2 different pictures. And I don't know who's on the slow motion machine, who we got there. I'll have to get some information from the truck, but we do appreciate their efforts coming down and stringing all this wire and everything and getting set up. Man, it's not an easy thing to do.
And it'll be a long evening, about 7 hours of basketball for the whole
And I've been pumped since I figured out we were
But looking forward to it. Some of the games you can watch here on Channel 5. Besides this game, we will have the Kecoughtan boys and the Phoebus boys game. That'll be our next match in sequence here. Then that'll be followed by the Phoebus girls team taking on the Kecoughtan girls, number 1 and number 2. And then we've got a similar 1 and 2 matchup with the, I guess you'd call it the marquee game.
Well, it's a 1 and 1.
That's true, 1 and 1. Ultimately, 1 will be 1 and 1 will be 2. But you're right. Correct myself there. You're right. The 2 first-place teams will battle out for the Peninsula Championship. The 4th of our 4 games, the Hampton Crabbers, number 1 in the state, and the Bethel Bruins, number 6. Vini drives the lane and scores for the Crabbers, and now they have a 6-point lead, 8-2. Lisa Goodhope, shot no good and controlled underneath by Bailey. This is Tori Howard pushing the ball up the court. In the corner, T.T. Gupton's shot is short. Bailey underneath, good position, and did she push off? I believe, no, she traveled.
She shuffled her feet. That was a good call by umpire, and that's Larry Hagan underneath the basket with the ball, as you can see there, as we have another substitute coming in for the Bruins.
That is Arelis Solar, who has come in for the Lady Bruins.
And I really killed her name when I was introducing her.
Camille Calloway is also in the lineup. This is Lisa Goodhope, double teamed by that pressing zone of the Crabbers in the lane. And we should have a jump ball. We do. Good tie up by the Crabbers. The possession arrow, however, will give the ball to the Bruins. Jesse Pope will bring Talisha McCauley back in when the opportunity arises, and now is that time. Lisa Goodhope will come out. Both coaches substituting freely here in the first quarter, or first half, I should say. And a foul underneath.
That was a nice move by McCauley, breaking down the lane, getting the ball. She was either going to get the shot off or get fouled. And she's one of the shortest young lady out there on the court, so she was really going down the land of the tall timber.
First of two by McCauley is short. And McCauley is good on the second, so the Bruins have 3, the Crabbers 8, with 6:55 left in the first half. This is Vini. She gets the ball back and then is able to finally get out of the heavy traffic. Still double teamed. Tori Howard, who will not hesitate to fire up a bomb. Her bounce pass inside is stolen, and then the tie-up. And the possession arrow will give the ball back to the Crabbers. Howard into Hicks, and Hicks is good with the turnaround.
And you see Hampton's philosophy is get the ball inside to their big people. And nice job by Alford. Was that Alford?
Yeah, Chiquita Alford with her second basket. She has both of the baskets for the Lady Bruins. Stephanie Hicks to Howard. Down low for Hicks, and Hicks is fouled on the shot attempt.
I think he's called a foul on Callaway. Nope, no, it was on Alford. I'm sorry.
That'll be her first. 6th team foul against the Bruins. Jessie Pope wants to call a timeout and collect her forces as the score with 5:59 remaining in the first half. Hampton 10, the Lady Bruins 5. Let's just take a breather here and watch the cheerleaders do their thing.
All right. Well, now, Tim, would you get up on somebody's shoulder and flip you around like that?
I might, but I don't know of anyone's shoulders that I could get up on.
Well, and I don't think anybody would catch you. No, I'm just picking on you. While we still have this break, let me mention that we will pick a DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game from each one of these two teams tonight. They will receive a plaque and a T-shirt. The plaque comes from DC Engraving, located at Tab Square and Route 17 in Yorktown, and Dave Buckwalter is young man out there. The sports place is located at Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road, and Dave Chubb is the young man there. Okay, it's a good shot of David Six and his team as they come back out after the timeout.
I do need to remind ourselves that the next time the Hampton Crabbers cheerleaders get an opportunity to perform, we need to make sure that they get equal time.
Yes, sir. Cause I tell you one thing, you don't want to get mad at you, and that's these young ladies. And it was you that said let's do that. So you're the one that's on the bubble.
Stephanie Hicks is good with the first free throw of 2. She is 2 out of 3 from the free throw line, and she now has 6 points to lead her team. And Hicks cans the next free throw as well. She had a couple of real fine games this year. She had a 27-point performance against Denby, and followed that up the next night, or at least 2 nights later, with a 22-point performance against Lafayette. Inside.
Well, nice job for Callaway, guys. Stephanie Hicks was also made second team All-District, which is there hasn't been a Lady Crabber making the All-District team in a long time, as we have a steal by the Bruins, and it was just not a good pass. Also want to mention Shonda Bailey was honorable mention for the Crabbers, and Juanetta Vini also made second team All-District.
And I do want to also thank the Daily Press sports writers, Mike Keach, Eric Pugh, Sonny Dirth, and many others, for providing statistics for us for this, as well as all the games during the season. We certainly appreciate the Daily Press for their contributions to our broadcast here on Channel 5. Crabbers will have it underneath the basket. They lead 12-7. Good inbounds pass to Kimberly Fleming. Won't go. But Vini tries. It doesn't go. Fleming with the rebound. Hands off to Hicks inside. Can't get it to drop. And a tie-up. And the possession error will give the ball to the Lady Bruins.
Well, I know David Six is frustrated. He had 3 or 4 good shots underneath the basket. Just couldn't get them to go in.
Both teams have had an awful lot of good opportunities, and that lid has been on that basket throughout the first half. This is Lisa Goodhope, guarded by Fleming. Now picked up by Tori Howard. And stolen by Fleming. Good hands by Kimberly Fleming. Tries to spot a teammate down the court, but it's intercepted by Alford. Back come the Bruins. Good hands again by the Lady Crabbers. This time it's Juanetta Vini, and Vini is hammered on her way to the hoop. She'll get 2 shots.
That was a good foul by number 35. Is that good hope for the for the Bruins? She wasn't going to let her have an easy layup, but it was a fight. She was going for the ball. I mean, there was no doubt. But
no, it was good hard basketball. Bonus time for the Lady Crabbers as the Bruins have exceeded the limit here in the first half with 4:07 remaining. Lady Crabbers will be shooting at least a 1-and-1 for each foul from this point on. Substitutions find LaShonda Solomon coming in for the Bethel Bruins. So let's set the team if we can. Christine Rose, number 21. 42 is Chiquita Alford. 32 is Celeste Palmer. And the balance is Camille Calloway to round out the 5 for the Bruins. For the Crabbers, Howard comes out. T.T. Gupton has stepped in along with the foul shooter, Juanetta Vini. And her attempt is short. It still will belong to the Crabbers. Rounding out the 5 on the floor, we've got Bailey, 44, and Hicks, 34, and Fleming, number 32 for the Crabbers. This is Fleming guarded by a couple of Bruins. Tries to get it out to Gupton, but it's picked off, and then Gupton, Gupton committed a foul, but in fact she didn't.
No, that was Calloway that stole the ball and then dribbled out of bounds. It was a nice steal. She got right in the passing lane, but yeah, you got to dribble on the court.
Bailey fouled in the attempt. I like the way she goes to the basket. Bailey has absolutely no hesitation at all to shoot the basketball.
No fear.
Chiquita Alford called for her second personal foul. And Arelis Solar will come in for Alford for Jesse Pope's Bethel Bruins. Bailey at the free throw line, her first trip there. She has 2 points. She'll get 2 shots. Misses on the first. And likewise on the second. Tie up will give the ball back to the Lady Crabbers on the possession arrow. Beanie inside to Bailey. Bailey shoots off the mark, but Hicks is there, no good. Bailey with the rebound, short, and it's finally controlled by the Lady Bruins. That was Celeste Palmer with the rebound. Christine Rose to Palmer. Finally controlled by Fleming of Hampton. 4 Bruins back. The Crabbers, if they get the ball down the court, has to have someone open. Meany can't do much except dribble down court. Bailey off the glass, no good. Loose ball picked up by Hicks, and Hicks will put it in. Stephanie Hicks, who has shown me that she knows how to establish good position. She is always in the right place for those rebounds.
You're right, Tim. She does a great job of being in the right place at the right time. We have an injury, number 41 for the Bruins.
That's Solomon. LaShonda Solomon.
I think she
shaking up.
Twisted an ankle or something is what it looks like. We'll hope it's not a serious thing.
Jesse Pope out there to attend to her. Let's look at how Solomon has done this year. She had a real good game against Hampton in that game over at Hampton University. She had 11 points, which was her high for the season. And then she has not played for the last 4 games, so I'm assuming that she might have been on the injury list. I think she was.
Yes.
And she may have she may need a stretcher. I'm not sure that she is certainly favoring her. I believe it's her right leg that they're attending to.
Yeah, it looked like she may have twisted it. I hope it's just a sprain, but I know when you do that, it's a scary situation, and they've got they're looking at. I can't quite tell if they're looking at the ankle or the leg, but it looks like the ankle. Well, let's hope it's not a serious thing, as we have 2:57 to go in the first half of play. Tim, you've got the standings for the girls.
Yeah, let me do this while we're waiting for her to be attended to. Just to give you this game being played on the last day of the regular season, so several of these positions have been established for the tournament. The Bethel Bruins, as I mentioned, 1 game behind Lafayette. If the Bruins can win this game and Lafayette were to lose, then they could ultimately be in a tie for 8th place and perhaps better themselves in the playoffs. And it looks like LaShonda is going to be okay. She's going to limp off, but I'm glad to see she is able to at least do that. The Phoebus Phantoms will have clinched the first place in the Peninsula District and a berth in the Eastern Regionals. Menchville and Kicquetan, the opponent for Phoebus later here on Channel 5, are in a tie for 2nd place. In 3rd place is Gloucester at 10 and 7. Then Hampton, as I mentioned, with Denby are tied at 8 and 9. Lafayette 6 and 11 with Bethel in the 8th spot, and the final 2 teams that won't go to the Peninsula District Tournament are the Warwick Raiders and the Ferguson Mariners. Back to the live action. We're happy to see that Miss Bailey is apparently okay. Lost my eyepiece out of my
glass. I wonder
glass.
what happened. You just stick that and use it like a monocle, didn't you?
About 2.5 minutes to go in the first half. 15-7 in favor of the Lady Crabbers. They spotted Bethel a 2-point lead and then rattled off 8 straight points. And the ball will belong to the Bethel Bruins. I'll tell you, you spend $6 for a pair of glasses and you expect them to last.
Well, Tim, that's a lot of money. But then, I think, would you get them at Wards or Pennies or?
Rite Aid, actually.
Rite Aid, okay. The Lady Crabbers are putting a lot of pressure out front, making the Bruins set up their offense a lot higher, and they turn the ball over.
And Kimberly Fleming goes coast to coast for her first basket. Stole the ball and made the layup. 17-7, a 10-point Hampton lead. Less than 2 minutes to go, and a steal again by Vini. Vini with Rose back, and Vini no good, but Gupton follows, again no good. And the tie up underneath.
I think somebody else lost part of their glasses. Young lady, number 22 for the Bruins, Poole got hit in the face and her goggles came apart. I thought that was your eyeglasses out there coming apart, Tim.
Could have been. The ball will belong to the Lady Bruins with 1:38 remaining in the first half. Crabbers led 6-2 after 1. and have outscored the Bruins 11-5 here in the second. We need to get the equipment problem solved here. Tamara Poole will do so, and we'll get this one back underway. And again, we apologize ahead of time if we mispronounce some of these young ladies' names. I think it's Tamara, but it could be Tamara, so I apologize to her if I've mispronounced her first name. And we've got a foul. This one will be, I believe, on Vini.
Well, I tell you, what the Crabbers are doing, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Bruins, making them set up their offense a lot higher than they want to, and then they're jumping in the passing lanes. And that kind of a foul, that was an aggressive foul. As a coach, well, you don't mind that kind of a foul. But that's being aggressive, and you're making the Bruins do things that they don't want to do. And there's another good point of being in the passing lane.
Picked off by Vini. To Fleming, to Gupton. Down low for Bailey. Bailey no good, but again, Hicks with good position for the easy putback. 11 points for Stephanie Hicks.
As a coach, you tell the players to get on the weak side rebound, and that's the opposite side from the shooter, because that's where the ball will come a lot of the times. And as we have a traveling call, and that's exactly what Hicks did, Tim. She was right on that weak side, got the ball, put it right back up. Good job.
Pressing man-to-man defense by the Lady Bruins. Vini gets it across the timeline. Gupton guarded by Good Hope. Howard.
Nice pass by Vini.
Excellent job of getting the ball to Hicks. 21-7. The Crabbers up by 14, their biggest lead. And we almost got the basketball right in our laps here. 21 seconds remaining in the first half. 21-7 in favor of the Lady Crabbers. And again stolen with a good defense by Gupton. Crabbers find Hicks. Hicks on a 2-on-1. Bailey down court. Bailey will pump it up. No good. Howard with the rebound, and she is fouled on the putback. With just 4 seconds remaining. Christina Boland, number 31, is called for the personal foul. Arelis Solar getting set to come back in for the Lady Bruins. Scorekeeper trying to get the officials' attention, but they're not listening.
Yeah, we got it.
Lady Crabbers will also bring in a new number. Christina Lockhart, number 24, will come in and replace a very tired, I'm sure, Vini, who has hustled all over the court here in the first half.
Well, she's the point guard, the playmaker for the Crabbers, and she plays all 96 feet.
Howard a little short with her first attempt at the free throw line. 4 seconds left in the first half. Crabbers hopeful of breaking a deadlock with Denby for 5th place in the Peninsula District. And Howard misses. So one last gasp here in the first half for the Bruins. The length of the court to go. 1 second, 3-point attempt is off the mark. And we have concluded our first half of action. And the score after 16 minutes of play, the Hampton Crabbers 21, the Bethel Bruins 7. And we'll return to the Hampton Coliseum after a brief timeout. Back here at the Hampton Coliseum, we're a little less than a minute away from the start of the second half between this battle of the Lady Crabbers and the Lady Bruins. There you see our score at halftime. Scoring individually, Stephanie Hicks with a very strong first half. She had 13 points, 5 baskets, and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 4 points for Juanita Vini. She had a basket and 2 of 4 from the free throw line. Shanda Bailey had 2 points, and she got those from the field, and she was 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And Tori Howard was playing but did not score. She was 0 for 2 from the free throw line. For the Lady Bruins, 4 points for Chiquita Alford, both baskets from the floor. Camille Calloway with the only other basket that the Bruins had, and Talisha McCauley with 1 of 2 free throws for the 7 points that the Bruins have here at halftime. 2 points in the first quarter for Bethel, 6 for Hampton. 5 points for Bethel in the second quarter, 15 for Hampton, most of those coming from Stephanie Hicks on easy baskets underneath. And as the second half gets underway, Vini picks up her second personal foul as she used the right arm to fend off the defender.
Well, she did. Had she just not worried about pushing off enough, she just held her position, but she was actually pushing away, giving herself a little bit of help, and Horace Underwood made a good call. That was definitely an offensive foul.
Lady Bruins trying to move the ball around and find the open player. This is Lisa Goodhope. Nice spot inside for Alford.
Good pass. Had to thread the needle to get that ball into Alford.
I'm sure Jessie Pope told the young ladies at halftime just that, work for the good shot. And it isn't really that they didn't get good shots in the first half. Both teams just had a real cold shooting first half. Grabbers did find the range somewhat in the second quarter, obviously, with 15 points. This is Vini. Her shot is off the rim, no good. Talisha McCauley will bring it up for the Lady Bruins. Again, Alford is open and scores.
Now they've listened to the coach, just like you said. She said, let's get the ball down and let's get the work it in for the good shot. And Bethel scored 2 straight baskets.
And David Six had a word or two for a couple of the Lady Crabbers as they came off. Wanted to make sure they knew he was displeased with that part of the game. Lady Crabber cheerleaders are out on the floor now, and we see they're pointing in the wrong direction. Is the only problem. I was going to say, let's listen in on the Lady Crabbers.
Well, we can still see them. Equal time.
You and I have talked before, and certainly the cheerleading is a very important part of scholastic sports on the high school level. These young ladies practice very, very hard and spend a lot of time working on the routines, and really don't get the verbal recognition that the sports teams do. But they're athletes in their own right, and they are spend a lot of time working towards their craft.
They do that.
The Crabbers now, after having 2 straight baskets scored by the Lady Bruins in the form of Chiquita Alford, will set up. David Six having had a chance to talk to them. And we've got a traveling call against Bailey before the shot.
David Six not real happy with that call.
I didn't see it either, to be quite honest with you, but the official had a much better angle than I did. Camille Calloway will drive the lane and put it in.
Well, if they take away your passing lane but leave your driving lane open, you take advantage, and that's exactly what she did.
Stephanie Hicks off the mark, gets her own rebound. And a long shot missed by Vini.
And that was well beyond the three-point lane. If she'd have been up the three-point line, she probably would have made it.
Now there are 2 3-point lines here. We should point out that the line closest to the basket is the 3-point line for high school ball. The other line is the pro 3-point line. Of course, from time to time, the Hampton Coliseum has hosted both college and professional games. Those of us who have any kind of memory at all can remember the Virginia Squires, who played their home games here many moons ago. Bob, were you a Virginia Squires fan?
I were that. I tell you, I loved the Squires. They did a good job. Of course, you got people like Julius Irving playing on the team. It's hard not to become a fan.
I know I've watched probably 100 games between the Virginia Squires. Charlie Scott and Julius Irving, George Gervin, who had a tremendous career, and many, many others. A very exciting time. I really miss having professional sports in the Hampton Roads area.
Well, and I don't know if you saw in the Daily Press, in the Sports Illustrated, there was an article about different areas for pro teams and those that like Baltimore that are trying to get NBA and NFL franchises and all this, and they mentioned Virginia Beach and Newport News and said we can't even consider you don't have one. But we were mentioned in the article about possibility of, and with the Norfolk, Newport News, and Hampton, and Virginia Beach, and all that, we got a lot of people here. We could support
we have over 2 million people in this area. This is statistically, this area is the largest by population in the state of Virginia. T.T. Gupton misses the first of 2 free throws. She was hammered on her last attempt at the basket, and she is off the mark, but it's retrieved by Kimberly Fleming. And inside, a tie-up. And the possession error will give the ball to the Lady Bruins.
That's a good job by Callaway. She's really shown some real spunk here this beginning of the second half. Drove and got a driving layup and has passed the ball well.
Lady Bruins down by 8. They trailed by 14 at halftime. Good defense by Hicks in the middle. Beanie. And she is fouled by Goodhope. That's 2 on Lisa Goodhope. Second team foul. And since it was a non-shooting foul, it'll be player control inbounds. Fleming tries to bounce it inside. It's knocked away by the Bruins. 21-13 with 4:21 left in the third. Tim Cole and Bob Hintz coming to you from the Hampton Coliseum. Game videotaped on the 16th of February. As you're watching some of the replay a moment ago, you saw that what led up to the foul. We get back to the live action. We've got a traveling call against.
That was Lisa Goodhope.
The Bruins. Beanie will inbounds. Into Hicks. Hicks with the good position. She gets the basket. She has 15 now. And her team, the Crabbers, lead by 10. McCauley's shot off the glass and retrieved by Camille Callaway. McCauley got the roll. So Talisha McCauley gets her first basket. And the lead is 8 for Hampton. Bailey spots Hicks open. You can't leave Hicks that wide open.
Somebody for the Bruins of not getting back. There was way too much time underneath the basket for Hicks, and there was a good job of finding an open player, and she's not going to miss many of those shots.
That's the only shot I can make. About 3 feet from the basket to the left. With nobody guarding me, that's right.
Oh, Scotty working on you, isn't he?
He knows me. Vini can't get it to drop, but she is fouled. Vini will have to be at the free throw line, but first of all, the Lady Bruins, Jesse Pope wants to call a timeout with 3:01 remaining in the third quarter. And our score, Hampton 25, Bethel 15. get a chance to watch the replay, this is the last foul that occurred down the court a moment ago. That was Vini driving to the basket. She got her own rebound, and then she was fouled on the second attempt. And certainly Vini and Hicks have been very instrumental in the success that Hampton has had here in the first 2.5 quarters of this ballgame.
While we've got this time out again, let me mention that we will pick a player of the game from each one of these two teams. DC Engraving Sports Place player of the game. They will receive a plaque and a shirt. Plaque comes from DC Engraving, located at Tab Square. Dave Buckwalter out there, and the shirt, of course, comes from the Sports Place located in Hampton Woods Plaza on Big Bethel Road. Dave Chubb is the young man there. And, of course, he's ably assisted by Brian Cartwright, one of the young men that does all the printing on these shirts for me when I go over there. He's sitting right behind me, and he stands about 6'6", so I'm definitely going to say something nice about him.
I was wondering, the gun he had the small of your back. I figured that's why I got the plug. Vini rattles it in and out. She is 2 for 5 from the free throw line. She'll get a second attempt. This time she has success. She is 3 of 6 from the free throw line, and she now has 5 points. The lead is 11 for Hampton. McCauley drives the lane, can't get it to drop, but the rebound is stuck back in by number 32, Celeste Palmer. That is her first basket of the game. Tori Howard with 2:40 left in the third. If you joined us late, the Hampton Crabbers trailed by 2 points and then rattled off 8 straight as we see Callaway go down the length of the floor. Crabbers led 21-7 at halftime, and they lead 26-19, so they have only had 5 points, while the Bruins have had a total of 12 here in the third.
Well, the Bruins seem to be protecting the ball a little better, getting the ball inside to the people a little bit better, and are making their shots. That first half, they just were completely out of it as far as trying to run their offense. Jesse's done a good job of getting them back in there, but that was a mistake. They're allowing the ball come in underneath the basket, and Hicks gets a basket plus gets a chance to make a three-point play.
Solar picks up her second foul very quickly here in succession. Hicks at the free throw line. She has unofficially 19 points in the ballgame. And she's perfect on that attempt, giving her 20 with a 10-point lead as she herself has outscored the Bethel Bruins by 1 point. 29-19. Baseline, the pass is too high for Celeste Palmer, and the Crabbers will take over on the turnover. Tori Howard's pass picked up and put in by Shanda Bailey. So things are going well for you. She threw that ball right into the hands of a Lady Bruin, and the Bruin couldn't hold it, and Bailey picked up the loose ball and stuck it in. 31-19. McCauley has it blocked. Tori Howard in heavy traffic. The ball is on the court, and a tie-up ensues.
And it's Hampton's possession arrow.
Bailey, a 1-on-2 situation, kicks it out for Vini, and Vini hits nothing but net.
Had a chance to square up, get her shoulders square, and just shot a nice little set shot. And you're right, nothing but the bottom of the net.
This is Rose. Christine Rose, right side for Talisha McCauley. McCauley gets loose but can't get it to drop, and then Bailey had it for Hampton but couldn't hold it. 52 seconds left in the third. Bruins will inbound. Callaway's shot is short. Hicks with the rebound. And then Hicks. Are you dribbling your head?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't even thinking about it, but it sounded good in your ears, didn't it? Revis Conrad came by and just really had a couple things he wanted to tell me, and I got the starters for the next ball game, and I appreciate that. And I apologize to you and clean out your sinuses.
Revis Conrad, of course, the head coach of the Kecoughtan Warriors boys team. That game will be coming up as Lisa Goodhope connects for the Lady Bruins. Hicks is fouled by Goodhope. That'll be 4 on Lisa Goodhope. That was the 6th team foul. Callaway with the rebound, 7 seconds. Clock rapidly moving down. The Bruins with a chance here for one last shot, partially blocked. Gupton gets it, and the horn sounds, ending the third period. The score after 3, the Hampton Crabbers 33, and the Bethel Bruins 21, as the Bruins outscored the Crabbers in the third by 14-11. 33-21, our score after 3. And again, the Crabbers with a lot to gain by this game. Should they win, they would improve to 9-9 in the Peninsula District and break a tie with the Denby Patriots for the 5th place. Actually, first is Phoebus, second and third would go to Menchville or Kecoughtan, since they will have to break that tie some way.
That's correct.
Gloucester would be 4th at 10-7, and then what would happen is between Hampton and Denby, the winner of that 4th position would have the home team advantage.
Yeah, because 4 and 5 play each other anyway, so
right.
All it would matter would be home and the away, and they would flip a coin to determine that, I'm sure.
That really
they may just go back and see who won the 2 contests, or maybe even use points. I don't know how they'll do that.
Well, I'm glad you asked me about that, because I have here, as a benefit of the Daily Press statistics, Denby beat Hampton earlier in the season, and then Hampton beat Denby. So that's a toss-up. They split the regular season. Bailey's shot a little too strong, and then she commits the foul on the rebound. That'll be her 3rd.
Well, we have to start thinking about who we're going to pick as player of the game from these 2 teams. For the Bruins, you got Alford and you got McCauley, and Callaway's done a good job in there defensively and offensively, plus the second half. And you go in the Hampton side, Hicks has just been dominant inside. Veeney's done a great job as she just drove in there. So we need to be thinking about that.
33-21. Good Hope, and they're going to say Good Hope traveled. Crowd continuing to file in for the next game as well, which will pit the Kecoughtan and Phoebus boys against each other. Game we'll have for you right here on Channel 5. And then later on, the Phoebus girls and the Kecoughtan girls, followed by the Hampton boys and the Bethel Bruin boys. A battle for the Peninsula District Championship. Bruins trying to work the ball down to an open player, and a foul is committed. Stephanie Hicks is called for her first personal foul. Chiquita Alford will come back in for the Lady Bruins, and a player control foul. Ball comes inbounds. This is Lisa Goodhope. Left side feed is a little too strong by Palmer. Callaway has it blocked. Alford no good. The Bruins had 3 or 4 good opportunities but couldn't put it down.
Just couldn't get the ball to go down. And sometimes it's frustrating as a coach to watch that happen. Well, sometimes, all the times, it's frustrating for the coach when you get that many shots on the basket and you come back empty-handed.
Hicks with the turnaround jumper draws the foul. Foul is on number 32, Celeste Palmer. It's her first, and it's bonus time for the Lady Crabbers. They will shoot the 1-and-1 for the balance. Of course, this is a 2-shot foul for Hicks. She misses the first of 2. And gets the second. So Hicks now with 21 points. Nice move to the basket by Lisa Goodhope.
Good drive.
And Alford picks off the pass. Her shot too strong, and Vini tie up with Camille Callaway, and the possession error will give the ball to Hampton. Tori Howard will come back in, replacing Shanda Bailey for Hampton. Hicks off the glass and good.
She's just having a field day today. She gets the ball down there close to that the box, and she's been very accurate, Tim. I don't know what her points are, but I know she's
23 points unofficially.
Well, she's got as much as the whole Bethel team then, doesn't she?
Yep. And the Lady Bruins turn it over. Christine Rose, check that, Tamara Poole rather, number 22 will come back in. She will replace Celeste Palmer. Travers get it across the 10-second line. Feed underneath for Hicks. Can't get it from the right side. And Callaway comes out with it for Bethel. Alicia McCauley will fire it up. No good. Back come the Crabbers. Lead pass for T.T. Gupton. Gupton puts it in.
Nice pass from Juanetta Vini to get that basket. Nice assist.
A 15-point Hampton lead with 4:25 remaining, and timeout is called by the Lady Bruins. 4:22 remains in the ball game. Want to name our players of the game now?
Well, I have a feeling you may be.
Well, yeah, that's a
going with the young Miss Hicks.
That's a given there.
That's almost a given. She has just had an outstanding game. Really has.
Stephanie Hicks with 23 points unofficially, and I'll let you be the decider on the Bruins side there.
Well, you know, I've looked at all of them, and I'm kind of leaning towards a little Callaway girl. I think she's done a real good job to spark them, especially in the second half. They just looked real lethargic the first half, and that's kind of who I'm leaning towards.
I know this will set a precedent we can't really keep for much longer, but I'll go along with you on that.
All right.
I'm with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Here's a little of the action. Earlier, that was the Gupton lay-in a moment ago. T.T. Gupton. So our players of the game, Stephanie Hicks from the Hampton Crabbers and Camille Callaway from the Lady Bruins. Our totally unscientific approach to determining these.
Very unscientific.
Loose ball, last touched out of bounds by the Crabbers. 2 shots coming for Christine Rose as she is fouled in the act of shooting. Kim Fleming picks up her 3rd personal foul for the Lady Crabbers.
Good shot of Ancamp. I never did find out who we've got on the slow motion machine. Maybe Scotty can let us know.
A mystery.
Oh, man of all
Seasons.
talents in the season. Dr. Sam still is doing the slow motion machine. So he does a little bit of everything, and we sure appreciate that.
Lane violation against the Lady Crabbers will give Christine Rose another opportunity. Somebody across that line too quickly. Good Hope throws it up and in, and she is fouled.
Oh, as a coach, you tell the kids, you know, if you don't shoot it, it never has a chance of going in. Good example. Good example.
So Good Hope will have a chance at the 3-point play. She has 6 points, 3 baskets. Off the mark, and Hicks with the rebound for the Crabbers. Bruins pressing all over the court, not conceding this game at any means, and the Crabbers turn it over.
Well, it was a good look to get the ball to Stephanie Hicks. She threw her hand out as we watched the replay. She threw her hand out to get the ball. The ball just passed a little high, but outside of that, good job.
12-point lead for the Crabbers. Still a little bit of time remaining here, so the Bruins making a move here if they're going to have a chance at this game at all. Good Hope tries to get it inside, but it's picked off by Howard. Good look down the floor for Shanda Bailey, and Bailey misses the layup. And then it's last touched by the Lady Crabbers. The Crabbers have missed a fair share of easy baskets today. Talisha McCauley will come out. Camille Calloway back in for the Bruins. This is Calloway with the ball. She is double teamed. Good Hope. And it's stolen by Bailey. Shanda Bailey will hold it up. No shot clock. The Crabbers set it up, in and out. Loose ball battle for. Hicks has got it on the floor. And the ball finally goes out of bounds, touched last by Hampton.
Well, it was not because both teams didn't want the ball. I think they were fighting after that.
Shot off the mark. They say last touched by the Lady Crabbers. Larry Hagan emphatic about the call. Officials have done a good job in this ball game.
Well, they really have, Tim. And it's not been a real good game as far as smoothness, especially in the first half. I think the second half has gotten much better. And again, I think it's because of the bigness of this area they're playing in, the size of the court, and the depth perception because of the distance behind the basket. I think the girls have adjusted real well by the second half.
2 shots coming for Chiquita Alford. She has 8 points in the ball game, and she cans the first of 2. Another point too, this basketball floor is very different because it is a sectional floor, and I'm sure the teams, Hampton and Bethel, both play on a solid floor.
Oh, and Tim, it's got some dead spots in it. I mean, you can be dribbling the ball and it'll be coming up, and all of a sudden it comes about half as high as it normally does, and it just makes you feel a little not in sync.
No, and we're not being critical of the floor here at the Coliseum. That's just part of this type of floor, no matter where you are. Anytime you have a floor that is not a solid foundation, you will have that. I think the Coliseum bought a new basketball floor here not too long ago, as a matter of fact. Tie up underneath. We have got a foul, I believe. See, I go back a little ways, not that I have to go back that far. I remember when this place opened.
Yeah, I do too.
I was here for that inaugural game between North Carolina State and who was that? North Carolina State and William & Mary, was it that played here? I know Burleson played for
State, and
I think
looked like a toothpick. I mean, that guy was so big.
7'4". And Monty Tao was there too,
right.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, that was the long and the short of it.
Last time I parked in the regular parking lot, it took me 2 hours to get home once the game was over with, because everybody was so confused about
where do you go, how do you get out of here?
How do you get out of here? 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. 38-27. Crabbers by 11. They built up a big second quarter lead and have held on to it. Ball knocked loose. Back comes Kimberly Fleming. Fleming tries to get the shot away, and Lisa Goodhope again says, oh no, no easy baskets here. And I believe that will be her fifth. I have it as her fifth foul. May have given her one more than she has. Let's see.
I don't see him signaling it. It is a fifth one, but she is going to come out.
She will be replaced by Tamara Poole, or Tamara Poole, however she may pronounce that. At the free throw line, Kimberly Fleming.
You can call her T-Pool or just don't call her swimming pool.
That's right. You're terrible.
No, I'm picking on her. Jesse's done a great job, as we see the action in that last foul, of getting her girls in and getting a lot of different young ladies playing time.
A minute 40 remaining. Callaway, no good. And Bailey, who was a candidate for player of the game as well for Hampton,
yes,
with the rebound. She's had a good ball game. Callaway picks up the personal. That's her first.
Now we have another timeout with 1:27 to go. Jessie needs to talk with the young ladies, and she's working all the time. They're only down by 11, so.
You joined us late. You're watching the Hampton Crabbers and the Bethel Bruins. Girls basketball, the Hampton Crabbers led 6-2 after the first period. They led 21-7 at halftime as they enjoyed a strong second quarter action by Stephanie Hicks, who is our Hampton player of the game, as you watch some of the replay. In the third quarter, the Bruins actually outscored Hampton 14-11 to cut that lead down to a 12-point difference. And we stand at 11 being the difference as we look at the final 1:27 remaining on the clock. And you look into Jessie Pope's huddle with her Lady Bruins. Jessie with 20-plus years over at Bethel High School. One and one coming for Shanda Bailey of Hampton. She enjoys a little better than 10-point per game average coming into this contest. She has 4 points on the afternoon and a chance to add to that total with the 1 and 1. And she will get the bonus. 1 of 3 from the free throw line. There you see a good look at Shanda Bailey. Short with the second one. And the Crabbers get the stick back.
Yeah, Miss Hicks picked up the inside rebound and put it right back up. She's deadly. You get her close to that basket.
Unofficially 25 points for Stephanie Hicks. Talisha McCauley a little bit short. Rebounded by Callaway. She gets it over to Talisha McCauley again. Down low for Alford, and Alford will score.
Nice pass by McCauley. That was a tough pass off the dribble.
44 seconds remaining. 41-29. The Crabbers will even their record in the district at 9-9 and improve to 11-9. And David Six will enjoy a winning season as his first year as head coach of the Lady Crabbers. Our congratulations to David Six. He's done a tremendous job with Hampton.
Outstanding, outstanding.
Manita Vini will go to the free throw line. Vini has 7 points. Fleming gets the rebound and no good. And Alford with the board. Knocked away by Vini. And it'll be last touched by Hampton. 23 seconds remaining. Long shot put up and missed by Poole. It'll be Hampton ball with 9 seconds remaining. Five seconds left, foul call. This one will go against Callaway, her second. Beanie will have to be at the free throw line. She has 7 points, chance to add to that again.
Good shot of Juanetta. Nice follow through, good action. You can see the spin of that ball when it comes off the fingers. It's got a nice backspin to it. You know she's got good control.
Picture perfect. At the buzzer, the shot off the mark, and that is going to do it. The final score will find the Hampton Crabbers 43-29 over the Lady Bruins here in the first of the Super Tuesday 4. And we thank you for watching. That's the final score again. The Hampton Crabbers, Lady Crabbers, improved to 9-9 in the district, 11-9 overall, and Jesse Pope's squad 5-13 in the district, 6-13 overall. For Bob Hintz, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon, everybody.